Okay, so let's start our new chapters today. It's your old friend. But today we'll only cover this part. Okay, there are a lot of ways to do two permutations. The only thing is, if you do too many ways, you get mixed up. The moment you got mixed up, you get confused, and then you'll be more haywire. Okay, the best advice I can give you for permutation, combination, and also probability is this. We tend to do it by intuition. It's where your instinct starts to kick in and you try to do it. But let me know one thing. Naturally, our intuition is bad for this topic. Okay, bad for permutation, combination, and probability. We can also say probability here. Okay, naturally, we are bad in it. Our permutation, our instinct, our intuition just could not do it. So the best way for you to do this topic, the best advice is plan. When I say plan, I mean write your plan. If you try to just, I think that, without writing things down, mostly you will get it wrong. Okay? So my best advice, plan and write it. So let's begin. There are many ways to start, but the main idea for this topic is either like this, same P same, or 3P2, more P less. Okay, but it will never be less P more. It's just impossible. And you will have two things most of the times that you need to consider. How many objects do you have? And how many places do you have? Most of the times you have more places than objects. Most of the time you have more objects than places. But it can switch around. Most of the time this is more than this. But it's not necessarily. You need to define these two. So let's try a few things. Oh yes, one more thing. Permutations. How do you know when you use permutations? When arrangement matter. Arrangement or of course position as well. So let's start as simple as possible. If you are given A, B, C, how many arrangements can you have? Before you begin, let me ask you, how many objects do you have there? Object is 3. How many places do we have? Because we want to arrange all of them, right? So place is also 3. So how is it going to be? 3P3. Okay, press that into your calculator. How much you get? 3216, am I right? There are many ways to calculate, but this is one of the simplest way. Okay, you need to stick to your strategy. There are many ways to calculate. Yes, I can also say 3 factorial, sir. I can also say 3 times 2 times 1, sir. But then again, when the things are getting more and more complicated, when you have too many ways on how to solve, that's the moment where your brain started to break down. So my main idea on how to solve this, yes, these two can solve, but let's not use it too much. Let's just stick to this. How many objects we have? How many places we have? 3p3, we are fine. Okay, we'll be using this technique at other places. Ya Ramukila, bless you. Okay, right now, let's say you have 5. Okay, for lunch, let's say you have this option, example 2. Can you see? Is it too small for you? Okay, sorry about the projector going to be a bit greeny. Let's say for lunch you were given turkey. Obviously not Malaysia. Cheeseburger, not Malaysia as well. Slice of pizza, not Malaysia. It's written here, that's all. And then let's say after that you got the chance to have desserts, which is grapes, not Malaysia, and cookies, sometimes Malaysian. And you can only have one for those. How many ways can you have your lunch? How many ways can you have your dessert? You want one of each. How many arrangement can you have? Alright, so first and foremost this thing. So we want to have lunch, one lunch and one dessert. Okay, for lunch, how many objects do we have? 3. How many plates do we have? 1, because only one lunch, okay? So, 3, P1, we go for P. What about for this one here? 2, P1. Yeah, for this case, yes, I do agree C can go, but let's go for P. Now, how do I connect this data? Plus or times? Times. When connecting goes times. When n is times. It's one case. Okay, there's only one case. What do I mean by what? More than one case, sir? We'll do it later. So the answer is 6. Are you guys okay? Good. Next example. Do you know, I mean, everyone knows padlock, right? Let's say there's a padlock for 4 numbers of combinations. And the things that you can have over there is 0 until 10. Sorry, 0 until 9. So that means how many numbers are there? 10 numbers. So that means for each of here you have 10 numbers. 10 numbers, 10 numbers, 10 numbers. So right now, how many arrangement of numbers, how many ways can I lock? How many ways can I do the code? Okay, the first one, let's say, how many numbers do I have? 10. Let's say if I choose number 10, let's say my code is 0. Start with 0. The next one, this is where things gone wrong. Okay, what's the laziest password of all? 0, 0, 0. Okay? So what's wrong with 9 just now? You still have 10 numbers. This one, how many numbers you have? Still 10 numbers. This one, still 10 numbers. So the idea of password, is where we say repetition is allowed. You understand me? Password is where repetition is allowed. So this is the case where repetition is allowed. So when the case of repetition is allowed, we don't use P. Factorials is not the right answer as well. Okay, for the first case, how many numbers you have? 10 numbers, so there's 10 possible ways to choose. Sorry, maybe I should use black. Okay, for the second one, how many choice do I have? Still 10 numbers. The next one, still 10 numbers. Last one, still 10 numbers. How do I connect them up? Times also plus. Why times? It's still in the same case. Yes, you are right as well, because you can also call it n. So it's times. So it's either you do things like this, you times it up with how many possible objects you have. Or another way of doing things down is the same as 10 to the power of 4. Okay, for the case of repetitions, you don't use P. And I can say as well, don't use factorial. You stick with the manual way. Okay, either you times all your numbers, all your objects, or you might go to something like this. Object to the power of place. Which one will I do, sir? Which one will you do, sir? Me personally, I'll stick with this one. Only when I am sure, then only I will move to here. Remember, for this topic, don't use your intuition. Plan it out. Write it down. When I see 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, okay, I feel satisfied, then only I move here. Okay? Can we move on? Let's go. Next example. Let's start with something simple. Let's say you have words of learn. This is what we do with alphabets. Okay, for this topic, maybe I forgot to say to you just now, when we say there are objects, there are several types of objects. Can either be alphabets, stuff, human, or numbers. These are common examples. So for this one, we go for alphabets. Okay, how many objects do you have there? 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, learn. And I want to say how many ways can we arrange them? How do we do? How many objects you have? 5. How many places do you have? 5. So 5p5. That's your answer. Answer is 120. That's easy one, sir. Yes, I agree. Now let's go to example 5. It has these attributes. First letter and the last letter must be vowels. First letter and last letter must be vowels. Okay, so let's plan it out. How many places do we have again? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, when it comes to place, this is how I do. And the last and the first, this one is vowels. This one is also vowels. Are you guys okay? So we plan it out first. How many vowels do I have? From here? Only 2. E and A are my vowels. Ya, 2. How many choice do I have over here? 2. It's either E or A. Only one of them can be there. So how do we calculate? 2P1. How many objects do we have? How many places do we have? 2P1. Okay, after that, how many? Let's say I choose E. How many vowels do I have left? 1. I have A. So, we can say 1P1. Right? And then, how many consonants? What do I have left? 3. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 consonants. How many objects do I have? 3 objects. How many places do I have? 3. So, 3P3. R, R, N. Can be put over here. 3P3. When you are done, how do I connect all of this? Times. What do we get? 12. This is one way of doing things. Do you guys understand? The other way of doing it, which I do recommend sometimes, depends on your ability. Still the same way, vowels and vowels. So we start with the vowels. Sorry, I forgot to say. These vowels are fixed. This is what I call fixed case. Because you know you're going to put it there first. So you fix it down first. Okay, the second way of doing things is still the same way. You start with, you say yourself, okay, we start with vowels. We have E and A. So my first case is I put E first, and then I put A. Another way of doing things is I start with A first, and then I end with E. This is also okay, alright? So this is what we call case 1. This is what we call case 2. 2 different cases. How many consonants do you have? How many places? 3 and 3. So how is it going to be? How many consonants you have? How many places you have? 3. So 3P3. What about this case? Second case? It's the same, 3P3. E and A, you have fixed it down. So the first answer you got yourself is 6. The second answer you got yourself is 6. How do you connect these two? Y plus is 2 different cases. Okay? We plus it up because it's 2 different cases. So the answer is 12. Both ways are okay. Sometimes when things get too complicated, I'll choose the second way on how to solve. When things are still simple, maybe I choose this one. It depends on my mood as well. Are you guys okay? Any questions? Okay, we move on. Okay, the next case is a bit worrying. I'm going to skip the examples because the others are too easy. In your notes is example 8. Okay, let's say you're given something like this, the words of mathematics. And how many ways can I arrange them? How many letters do I have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So is it going to be 11p11? Why not? Because we have the case of identicals. We have multiple m, we have multiple a, we have multiple t, and so on. Okay, look here. Look at the screen. This is how I will rearrange, how I will detect. I mean, if you do it manually, okay, 2m, manually 2a, manually 2t. Sometimes you're bound to miss. Look at how I do. Firstly, I write down my m, then I write down my a, then I write down my t, then I write down my h, I write down my e, m again I put down here, a again I put down here, t again I put here, I, c, s. By doing this technique, I will not miss anything. Okay? Your seniors found it to be very, very useful. Who teach me that? No, I do it by my own. So I'm going to trademark this. Rodhi methods. Hopefully I'll be famous. Viral. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so how do we rearrange them up? Okay, how many objects do we have? We have 11 objects. How many places do we have? How many places? 11, because you're going to rearrange all of them. So how do we calculate? Normally is 11p11. But they are identical in this case. So you should divide by identicals. How many m do we have? 2. This is the moment you use this. 2 factorial. How many a's do I have? 2. Another 2 factorial. How many t do I have? 2. Another 2 factorial. This is the moment you use your factorial. If you use factorial from the very beginning, 11 factorial over 2 factorial over 2 factorial over 2 factorial, it's still okay, but then again you get confused when things are getting more and more complicated. Alright, normal arrangement use p. When identicals, you use factorials. So identicals divide by identicals. Use factorial. You guys okay? When you got yourself this case, do that. And the answer is staggeringly 4989600. Can we move on? It does not matter that much as long as you know the way. Okay, a similar example for you. Let's say you're given the number of 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6, 6. And how many ways can you arrange them? yeah, this is the moment I can say your object is numbers, but does not play roles yet. And what case is this? Identicals. On your own. Good luck. Do apply what we have learned just now. On your own. 1 minute. Quick. What do you get? You should be getting 7p7 over 2 factorial 3 factorial, which give you 420. Are you guys okay? Very good. Can we move on? Tak dapat. Okay, the next one is the word of multiplication. And you want to start. Okay, we are running out of time, so I'll go straight to the case. All the letters I are together. If we have enough time, we'll try another example on this one. Okay, so before we begin, let's rearrange them down first. M, U, L, T, I, P, L, I, C, A, T, I, O, N. Okay, so we have done all of this. How many is it? Okay, 14. So your object is 14. How many places do we have? Still 14. Okay, look very carefully. They ask for the I to be together. This is what the case I can say. The case of together or group, collect, or side by side. Whenever you see this type of words, that means it's the same type of questions. Side by side, together, you know. Alright, so you want your I to be together, so that means here is your I. Let's group them up. There are many ways on how to start, so let's start with this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14. Okay, if you want to see, this is the easiest way. There are more than one way on how to solve, of course. So if I set my I are together, can you imagine how does it looks like? It's either I, and let's group them up. Okay? Where else can the I be? We can be here, or we move to the three side over here. Move to the here, and so on lah. Move it one by one. So, in other ways as well, you can say, instead of writing down 14, this one has taken 3 place, right? So, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Put this only as 1. Group of I. Sorry, I should have write down bigger. It's a group of I. So these 3 become 1. Okay? 1, 2, 3, it becomes 1. Okay, there are many ways on how to start this one, but I like to do it this way. Place of group. Where can the group be? How many places can it stay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So place of the group is 12. Are you okay with that? There are many ways to solve, but I like to break it down to the simplest form. Okay? And then the other things that you need to calculate. Arrangement in group. How many objects you have in the group? How many objects you have? 3. How many places you have there? No, for the group, inside the group. 3. So it's supposed to be 3p3. But for this case, they are all identical. So you need to divide by 3 factorial. In this case, it's 1. For this particular case, this is easy. Sometimes they say people, boys sitting down together. Okay, so what else do you have left? Outside group. The next thing you need to calculate is outside group. Okay, we have calculated this far. Now you need to calculate outside group. Place of group, arrangement in group, outside group. So that means our multiplication is the 11 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that means is what? 11p11 divided by 2 factorial, 2 factorial. Why are we dividing by 2 factorial, 2 factorial? L and T. Okay, so outside of the group, 11p11 over 2 factorial, 2 factorial. Is equals to what? Can someone press that? 9979 2 0 0. Are you guys okay? So now after we have done this far, we need to collect all of this data, plus or times. How many cases do we have? Only one case. We don't say things differently. There's no that we fix this thing, there's no that we fix that thing. There's only one case. So we multiply them up. The answers given to me here, but with a different set of calculation. 119,750,400. Okay, so let's try on human. Let's try another example of the same technique. Can I move on? Okay, let's say right now you have a group of cadets. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, say you have a group of cadets consisting of 4 males and 3 females. And I want them to sit in a row. How many ways can it be done? Sit together, and this one I want that all females together. Okay, the females need to sit together. This is what we call the group, the same as what we have done just now. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 places. Where does the female sit? F, F, F. Okay, then what do I do? I take down the other things as just now. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 3 groups, I make it into 1 group. So we call it group of F. There are 3 things that we need to calculate. Firstly is place of group. How many places do I have for the group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 places for the groups. What other things I need to calculate? Arrangement in group. How many people do I have in the group? 3. How many places I have in the group? 3. So it's going to be 3p3. Should I divide by 3 factorial as what we did just now? Why not? They are not identicals. Humans are not identicals. Okay? For the example just now, we divided by 3 factorial. This is due to arrangement in group is I. Alphabets are identical. For this case, humans are not identical. What else do we need to calculate? Outside of the group. What else do we have outside? You have only, the females are no longer there, 4 males. How many places you have left? 4. So how is it going to be? 4p4. Okay. And how do I connect all of those data? Y times, why not plus? It's still in the same one case. You should get yourself 720. I admit my works might be a bit longer, but at least we are not confused. Okay? This technique, this topic, the most important things is your planning, not your intuition. Okay, we have a bit of time left, so let's try this question. I don't have enough time. I think that's all for today.